are finally back again.
Episode 3. You missed me?
I did, dude. Jesus. Work every fucking day.
Every day, man. And that's my fault.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we were supposed to record at least one episode a week.
And somebody got busy.
Yeah. I'm going to say I was busy, but not on Sundays.
That's true. It was Mother's Day.
Sundays is, hey, my mom lives in Michigan, so.
My mom was here, so I just didn't want to get buried.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I saw the pictures.
By T. Jones.
I saw the pictures. Is that mom's name, T. Jones?
No, that's Josie Lee.
Oh, okay.
Josie Lee.
Who's T. Jones?
It's just what we call our parents.
Okay.
So
that's funny because my wife's maiden name, Jones, and forever we called her Sarah's her first name, so we call her Sarjo. Or
Sarjo.
I refer to her as Jones or the Jones.
Saris. Saris.
So if you ever hear me say, I got to check with the Jones, that's who I'm checking with. You know, a.k.a. the boss.
It's
the old ball and chain.
Hey, man, I got T. Jones from my African-American brothers.
Oh, really?
That's what they call their moms.
T. Jones?
Yep.
I never heard that one.
Yep. My brothers.
Huh.
So shout out to y'all.
Huh.
So,
never heard that one.
Yeah. Or correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm 99.9% accurate on that. So.
I'm going to take your word for it. Yeah. You haven't let me down yet. So.
Well, maybe last week.
Yeah. I was just going to say.
It's my bad.
Yeah. Dude.
So sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're finally back. Guys, girls, everybody listening. Nobody. You, Zentino, just you.
I'm listening.
You're listening. So, dude, new laptop, MacBook Pro.
Upped your game.
Up my game.
You don't have the 1995 dinosaur.
No.
Yeah.
So I got that going.
Mm-hmm.
I got my iPad right there. Mm-hmm. So, and then I saw some idea online about like just recording the video with your cell phone too. So I got my cell phone going at you. So we got 3 angles. We're fully angles. JRE, Joe Rogan, shout out.
They're gonna, you're gonna be able to use virtual reality glasses with us.
Yes, eventually. So I'm trying to figure this out. I have no idea how I'm gonna splice all this stuff together.
You're a smart man, and I believe in you.
But we got feedback, so I wanna tackle that first. First and foremost, guys, we have an Instagram, we have a Facebook, we have a YouTube. We've got Buzzsprout. We've got Amazon Music, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. And hopefully soon Apple Podcasts. But that one, for whatever reason, the approval process takes 2 weeks.
And somebody did ask me about that. And and I wasn't sure.
Yeah. So we have it in the works. I'm just waiting for the approval. So we have all of that. And it's either under 2 Cops, 1 Donut spelled out how it is on our brand with the number, or it's spelled out in all letters.
Yes.
Like TWO Cops 1 ONE.
ONE, yeah.
It's hard. Brain dyslexic. So we have all of those available. Obviously, YouTube's the only one right now that will have video. I don't know how people get video on Spotify. There's only like...
I thought it was just a music-based.
Yeah, JRE...
like SoundCloud.
Yeah, with Rogan's podcast, because it's really the only podcast that I listen to. That has video. Like when I watch Rogan, it's on Spotify. So I don't know how he does it. If it's just because it's him and he's got the #1 podcast in the world.
Just ask him.
Yeah.
Hey, Rogan.
Hey, Joe Rogue.
Joe Roney.
Yeah, bro. Can you help me out? So. Yeah, with that, we've got some good upgrades going. We still don't have a setup yet for more mics, which when we plan on getting guests, we're going to get more mics. Yes. So that will be fun. We'll see how that goes. And then
I'm trying to think in my head, like, where are they going to sit? Like right here.
Oh, no. Oh, so we're going to get a bigger table eventually. My dad does woodworking and stuff. Yeah. So
that's right.
Shout out to Freddie G. Only woodworker I know.
AKA Jesus.
Yeah, so he's
carpenter.
He's yeah, right.
There you go.
Don't tell him that. That'll go to his head.
Oh no.
So yeah, I'll get a bigger table, and we got the space. We'll make it work. We can, and yes, they'll definitely sit probably next to you because
I'm good with that.
Yeah, and we need to get you a chair. because I'm still
looking down at me.
Yeah, like I'm trying to look in the camera. It doesn't look so bad.
Yeah,
I'm not that much taller than him, I swear. What are you, 5'11",
Yeah.
5'10"?
About that.
Yeah, I'm 5'11".
On a good day.
Yeah, so I shouldn't look this much taller than you.
It doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
And then I'm slouched too, so.
Yeah. Right now, guys, we're looking into the camera.
Yeah.
Checking out on my hot new MacBook.
Yeah.
What up? I'm on that baller status,
Man,
son.
you ain't lying, bro.
You know? No, I ain't baller nothing. You know how I got that? My mom's. My mom's like, you know what? I'm going to support your dream.
There you go.
And she's like, I'm going to get you that
Moms
new
are
computer.
everything. Yeah.
Right? And guess what? It was just her birthday on the 7th. And then
your
Mother's
birthday,
Day
son, I'm gonna
was on the 8th.
you.
What, is that how it was? Her birthday was the day before Mother's Day.
So Saturday.
Yes. And then Sunday was Mother's Day. Which was that on the 9th or the 8th? I think her birthday, I'm terrible. I can't remember.
9th. It was
so
9th.
Yeah, so her birthday's the 8th.
And then yesterday was the Mexican Mother's Day. Shout out.
Mexican Mother's
My
Day.
Mexican mothers.
I've been practicing my Spanish on Duolingo.
Hey.
Yeah. It's
At least you're doing it.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
So
I just still listen to old like Luis Miguel CDs to practice my Spanish.
It's funny you say Miguel because the guy, the manager that I work with on one of my part-times, I told him, he's from Mexico City. Shout out to Miguel. I told him, I said, hey, dude, I'm trying to work on my Spanish. So when I text you and ask you questions about schedules and stuff like that, can you give me like Spanish first? Let me try to figure it out.
Right.
And then like I'll be like, I need some help. Say it in English. Which is usually the case.
That's the best way to do it, man.
I'm trying.
At least you are, bro.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun. I got the inspiration when I went down to Mexico recently, so I did really well. Like I was impressing people, and I think about it. I'm like,
woke up Mexican.
Not quite.
Am I Mexican?
But I kind of felt that way because when the TV come on, everything was in Spanish. I'm like, this is the Ocho. This isn't ESPN.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Good deal.
So I got to give a shout out to my mom because it was her birthday.
Shout out,
Michelle. Happy birthday. I love you. And happy belated Mother's Day again to my baby mama, even though she's not my mom. And then
all the rest of the mothers.
I know I'm thinking about
Vanilla Ice.
No. Justin Timberlake and
oh God,
the Mother Lover
Mother
song.
Lover
Yeah.
song. Dude, that song is actually pretty good. It's just stupid.
Everything they sing, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Anyway. All right. So let's get
to the nitty-gritty.
Today's topic is going to be we talked about training last time, academy. So these guys graduate and then boom, they're out in the field and then their training is not over.
Nope.
We're talking about field training. So
about 4 months long.
If you hear cops say FTO phase or anything like that, they're referring to their field training officer. So when a cop graduates the academy, he is assigned to a field training officer. Now, it varies all over the country how this program works. So I'll discuss the programs that I've been a part of. Since I've been a cop 3 different places, the field training's been different in every single one of them. So the department we currently work at, which will go nameless, which I'm sure everybody will figure out,
department who shall not be named.
Yes. The Voldemort of departments.
I'm just glad I didn't screw that up.
Yeah. You shouldn't. Shut your mouth. Yeah. Again, in no way do we represent our department.
No.
Or are we talking about our department?
Nope.
Because we ain't trying to violate no GOs.
Nope.
So anyway, with training, so with the department we currently work for, it's a 4-phase FTO program. So you graduate the academy. Your first week out is just basically being shown around by a neighborhood patrol officer, an NPO. And we explained to you guys before that NPO is a beat manager. They're the bridge between the community and
civilians
and the police that work in that area. So if you live between Cleveland Street, Detroit Street, and 2 other cross streets, you live in that big block radius, you got 1 officer or maybe 3 officers that are assigned to that area, and then you have an NPO for that area. And the community leaders will contact that NPO, and that NPO will contact the officers and let them know the community's wants, needs, issues, stuff like that. So that NPO, they're not subject to call. They're not out there shagging calls necessarily. But they can. Yeah. So they're out there showing these new rookies around. They're giving them a little geography. Hey, this is where we're at. They're not letting them drive the car necessarily. No. Some do. But they're just letting them get a feel for the city, letting them, showing them around, showing them their resources.
Especially if you've never lived in the area that you...
Right. Yeah, it was hard for me. Yeah. In our city, I've never lived there. I don't know it that well at all. So geography was rough for me, trying to figure out north, south, east, west all the time. So so they do that week, and there's no grading, no assessment really that I know of at that time. They may get quizzed on a little job knowledge.
If I remember correctly, they had to do some training, back of the book stuff, so to speak. But it was more of like on presentation, because you go to a lot of community events with the neighborhood police officers. So and then may take a call or two. It just depends which MPO you have.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Checking to see and make sure we're recording. We're still growing here, folks. This is our 3rd episode, so I just occasionally have to make sure everything's going good. So you do your first week, and then you get into it. Now you're in your assigned beat with your FTO, your first phase FTO, and you're with that guy for a month, and he has a booklet that he uses. The FTO, the field training officer, has a booklet for his rookie. And there's all these little things that he's supposed to hit. And then once he gets done with that phase, the FTO will give him a pass or a fail, so to speak.
Either graduate, you move forward or you don't.
Yeah, you either move forward or you don't. And they'll give their recommendations. And they should be listing the reason why or why not if they want to promote you or keep you back. So, and then it's the same for each other phase. Phase 2, you're with them for a month. As long as you pass all your stuff, then phase 3.
There's a midterm, right, between phase 2 and 3?
That's possible. I don't fully remember.
It is. There was one for us. It was first phase, second phase, midterm, third phase, and then you had a ghost phase. So it was like,
yes.
Yeah.
So once you get through your 3 phases, those months, then you have a ghost phase, which for that FTO that's training that rookie, that's the most fun phase for them.
Yeah.
Because once you get to ghost phase, and the reason they call it ghost phase is because you're supposed to pretend that FTO is not there.
Doesn't exist.
He doesn't exist. So if that rookie looks over to that FTO and is like, hey, how do I find my way over to such and such location again?
And you get this look.
They're just going to stare at you because they don't exist.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to get.
Yeah. Or they're just going to start bringing up something random.
Yeah.
They're just going to be like, you know what? For dinner today, I think I'm going to have Chick-fil-A. Yes. And you're like, huh? Oh, yeah, I can't talk to you. My bad.
Yeah.
So
they're there for safety.
Yes. So the only reason a ghost phase FTO will get involved in anything is when it's an immediate safety issue. So if you see, which my favorite, most places I see these FTOs, they're wearing loud, obnoxious Hawaiian shirts or whatever it is.
Teenagers.
Yeah.
with vests on.
Yes. And it's great.
Yeah.
FTO is really have fun with that phase. So, and then once you get done with the ghost phase, you're basically good to go, assuming you pass.
Yes.
And then you do probation for a year.
Yes.
And I think you do a final week with the NPO you started with. Is that still true?
They've been they flip-flopped that. When I got out, it was 2 weeks at the beginning, and we never went back. And then the classes after, it was a week before and a week at the end.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so I honestly, I don't know what they're doing now.
Okay.
But just to kind of expound on the whole FTO thing, you actually have to go to class for that. Like, they don't just randomly pick officers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, so your FTO, again, each department varies. Preferably, you would want an officer with a little bit of seniority who's been in the area for a while, that has their stuff together. It doesn't always happen that way, just because you don't have the people available.
Short-staffed. Yeah, it just depends.
All sorts of things. So that's one way to do your field training. Another way, the last place I was at, it was a year long.
The FTO class?
Yeah, your FTO.
Oh, wow.
You're basically just riding 2-man.
Right.
There's no rookie book. There's nothing like that. It's just, this is your partner for the next year.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Until you're comfortable on your own.
Yeah. And it ends up being your partner if you guys get along anyway. So, and then there's other places that it's like, you're done with the academy, you're on probation for a year, you get trained by whoever we have available. Yeah. So there's no consistency.
Yeah. I had all my field training officers were really good. You pick up something from each individual one, and you kind of make it your own. I think there was one night where I was riding with a guy that had only been out a year longer than I have. So, but it happens, and it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
I know one thing with classes that would come out after I did, the one thing I used to express was like, you're never going to be at a call alone, because coming out, you've never been a police officer.
Yeah.
There's that nervousness that kicks in. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like, you will never be alone.
Yeah.
So,
in your team, or anybody that's out there, they know who the rookies are, the fresh rookies when they're,
unless you're
5 months or
unless
less.
you're an old man like me.
Right.
Yeah. And they ask you, did you transfer? I'm like, no, sir.
Right. So I'm hoping, at least they did for us, even if they knew you were out there by yourself, they were going to go to you quicker, because they don't want to let you struggle or have a safety issue. So you get through, you do your FTO phase. If that's from the FTO perspective. Now let's go into phase 1. What are we looking for? What are the things we're looking for out of that rookie when he's out there? Are we expecting him to go shag calls and basically get out of the academy and know what he's doing, how to handle everything by himself?
No.
Not at all.
No.
My personal preference, when you have that fresh rookie, he gets out in the street, he's not even driving. His job is to sit and observe, and I will pick and choose the calls that I want him to take. Stuff like I want him taking report calls.
You have to learn how to learn.
Yes.
Learn how to do reports.
Yes. Do your meat and potatoes, because a lot of times we're not there solving cases, and we're definitely not there in the middle of a hot case.
It's not like the movies.
Yeah. We're taking burglary calls, stuff that's already happened after the fact.
Somebody stole my bike.
Yeah. So we're taking these calls after the fact. So now they're fact gathering. They're writing up a report that's going to get passed on to a detective.
Getting a routine.
Yes. That's the meat and potatoes when you first start out on your own. So that's what I want my first phase to be about. I want to test them on their law, their knowledge of the law, especially the stuff that they're going to be dealing with all the time.
Every single day.
Burglaries of a vehicle. I want them to know that inside and out. Domestics. I want them to know that inside and out.
Thefts.
Thefts. Yeah.
What you can go to jail for, what you can't, what you can give a ticket for.
Prisoner pickups at the
Walmart,
Target, all of those.
Yeah.
Those are daily, guys. Traffic accidents.
Oh, it's a big one.
Doing traffic accidents.
Especially like days like today, rain.
Yeah. Yeah, you get that fresh rain.
Are your buddies that are still out there? Oh, it's accident out.
Yeah.
Left and right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what, and you're definitely checking out their safety aspects. Are they paying attention? Are they listening to the radio? They got to start getting comfortable with the radio. Do they know their directions, which way they're going? I don't expect them to know where they're going. I don't expect them to know, hey, what road name is this? What road name is that? How do I get from here over to the Chick-fil-A, which you got to know. Yeah. The Chick-fil-A, so I just want them to know, am I heading north? Am I heading east? Am I heading south? The cardinal directions.
I'm so lucky that I grew up here. Dude,
yeah. Yeah. You want to talk about screwing up. Mine was always direction. I'm like, until I finally figured out where the epicenter of the city was, then then it all started to
I
click.
knew where I was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So getting your north, south, east, west down. So that's your first phase. And I'm a little old school when it comes to how I think the FTOs should treat the rookies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I knew after so many attempts at, hey, which direction are we going? We're going, what street did we just turn on? You know, little things like that.
Yeah.
You should know those.
Yeah.
Like, not the first week, maybe not even the second week, but when you get in the habit, your FTO's been grilling you, like, hey, and you get down on that third week, and he's like,
you should start to pick
yeah,
up on.
What street are we on?
I'm on Market.
Oh, you don't know?
Yeah.
Here, do me a favor. Get out of the car, and I want you to go back and find the road sign. I'll come back around and pick you up. Little lessons like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of FTOs basically just telling them, oh, you're done training for the day. We're going to head back to the sector, and you're going to help, you know, check out cars, clean cars up, or whatever it is.
I'm lucky that's never happened to me.
So
yeah.
it didn't happen to me either, but
Yeah.
I've seen it done. The direction things definitely happened to me.
Yeah.
I definitely got booted out of the car to go check what road we just turned on.
Until you learn these streets.
And he made sure that we went, you know, 3/4 of the way down the road.
So you had to walk.
So I had to walk all the way back. And I was like, dang it. Yeah, I deserve that. I should have been paying attention.
That's funny.
I'm just glad I didn't learn how to become a cop when cell phones were out. I mean, they were there, but not like
as prevalent as they are now.
It's like a Nokia, brick.
Anybody can Google, and anybody can.
Yeah.
We have GPS in our cars, so it's it's hard to really grill on that now because you're like, are you really asking me? Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So phase 1, the expectation. Now, what's the expectation? I know what my expectations are, which we just went over for the rookie.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to start learning direction. I want them to start getting that bread and butter. I want them to know how to handle basic reports. And
that way the bigger things aren't as...
Yeah, and I want to make sure they understand how the laws are applied to what they're doing. Okay, we have a BMV. Tell me where that's at.
Mm-hmm.
What law is that? You know, is it a felony? Is it a misdemeanor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if the guy that just broke into that car walks by right now, can I arrest him?
Mm-hmm. It just becomes this redundancy.
Yeah,
because you deal with the same stuff over and over and over. So that's kind of another thing that I used to share with these guys is if you don't get it after like the third time, then it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and you're not, I mean, like what Eric is saying, you're meat and potatoes, but if after a while you're just still not getting it, then because I've had classmates that just, yeah. So it just, but
so, after that, that expands a little bit, other little things that we're looking for is that officer's attitude.
That's everything.
How's their attitude while they're out there? Do they have a chip on their shoulder? Do they have, are they quick to anger? Do they show any bias? Are they treating one class of people different than another class of people? These are little things that they might not be aware of. I'm not saying it's a conscious bias or anything like that they're doing, but it's the FTO's job to point it out to them.
The implicit bias.
Implicit bias, yeah.
You like
there's that's out there.
Yeah.
That's a working theory going on right now. For those that don't know, there's this training that's going around. It's implicit bias training, and
it's like nationwide now.
Yeah. And the premise behind this. Now, I want to say that implicit bias is not admissible in court. It's not admissible because it doesn't have the science behind it to call it fact. It's merely a theory. Yeah. And the theory behind that is, from my understanding, is that we all have biases, which I'll agree with. We all have a bias, but you have biases that you're not conscious of. It's a subconscious bias that.
So for example, you think of a nurse, what's the first thing you think of?
First thing I think of, needles.
No. Male or female?
Oh, female. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, good call.
So
yeah, I typically think, well, my wife's going for nursing too.
Shout out to the nurses.
Yes. Hello, nurse. No, I can't say that. Hello, nurse. There's male nurses too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so the implicit bias idea is that I may treat an old lady much better than I treat a teenage girl. Mm-hmm. And I don't realize I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. I'm just doing it out of this subconscious bias that I have towards treating elderly people with respect versus thinking I know better than young punk kids. So,
and you do?
I do.
I think you do.
Typically. I'm not. No, you know what? I'm gonna counter you on that. I'm gonna say this: young kids occasionally have something to bring to the table, or a thought, outside the box thought that you just don't see.
Kind of blows you away,
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not gonna give a blanket statement about youngins. I believe the children
are the future.
Are our future.
Where you go with that?
So, officers' demeanor.
Yeah.
You know, that first phase. How are they presenting themselves? Do they look unconfident? Do they look like somebody to take advantage of?
Because confidence is everything.
Right.
You know that.
So these are things that you got to look at. Demeanor, confidence, things of that nature. And then all of this stuff you're annotating in this rookie book that we were talking about.
And that's just phase 1.
Yeah, that's just phase 1. Yeah, exactly.
Phase 1.
So phase 2 gets...
Before you get into that.
Okay. As I was.
There's some NPOs that give you all of the above.
NPOs or FTOs?
NPOs.
Okay.
That are FTOs during that NPO phase.
I gotcha.
And I say that because my experience, second day with an NPO, I was involved in a felony stop. Second day.
Okay.
So it just depends on who you get.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can say where I'm at now, at least with the FTO and NPO phases that we have, the rookies are getting to jump in on some fun stuff.
Yeah.
So if there's a unique call, a flock activation, and those that don't know,
second day as an officer, baby.
There's these cameras out there that are constantly scanning and they scan license plates, and they're looking for felons, people that are already wanted.
Get them plates, man.
Yeah, they're not looking to see if you've got traffic tickets or anything like that. We're talking robbery, theft, burglary, homicide,
hit on
arsons, like these big hitters.
Yep.
So it will scan for those plates of people like that. Or if your license plate got stolen, that's another big one. If your license plate got stolen and now suddenly it's showing up on another vehicle, it's more than likely that person stole your plate to go commit crimes.
And way in the complete opposite side of town where you live.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
So these flock cameras, they just sit at primary intersections where
scan all day
crime trends are real high and
turning into Dubai.
Yeah. England.
Yeah.
So I love them or hate them. It just depends on how you look at it. Intrusion, Big Brother looking at you.
Yeah.
I would agree with that if they were nitpicking things, but
they were looking inside your houses, maybe. But
because
I've been approached and
invading your privacy. Nah. Yeah, if they're invading your privacy or something like that. But when you're on a public roadway, you really have no expectation of privacy, and anybody and their mom could be sitting out on the sidewalk writing down license plates. Yeah, so
just like anybody can walk up to us with cameras.
Yes. Yeah, so I like that, and I'm with you though, guys. If they start overstepping stuff like that, I'm gonna be the first one to protest. Like, no, you're encroaching on people's privacy, and I don't agree with that either. So
I don't have anything anybody wants to see anyways. So
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you got anything they want to see or anything.
True.
Just like, I won't get into that. Other things.
That's another type of podcast.
Yeah. I was going to start going down that gun road, but I won't go down there. Anyway, so phase 2. Phase 2 gets harder. It's a snowball effect on the I'm trying to think of the word that I'm looking for. How tough it gets.
And I'm trying to remember my phases as you're talking about it. Like, what did I do?
So phase 2 gets a little harder. Now you're shagging calls for sure. You should be, in my opinion.
And even driving.
Can't hear you.
Even driving at that point, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how directional these mics are.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be speaking right in the tip, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, that's a spot. I can hear you.
So tough.
How do you like that I got red and blue microphone tips?
Yeah. It matches my chair.
If you're not watching this, if you're listening, I bought, I got rid of those very intrusive pop filter.
Yeah, pop filters.
Yeah, I took the pop filters off because they felt like they blocked our beautiful faces.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found these mic covers, I found a red and blue one. I was like, oh, that's very cliche. Let's go with that. So
gotta have it.
Yeah. So anyway, phase 2, much harder. You're shagging calls now. And what I mean is there's calls on the screen and your FTO is looking at you like you know where your beat is.
Call sign to dispatch. Send me that theft.
Yep. Send me that call. Send me that BMV. Send me that domestic, whatever it is. And you should be comfortable enough to be on the mic, knowing how to call out, going en route, using the computer fairly well.
Using your police lingo.
Yeah. So in your police car, there's, I think for the most part in the country now, just about everybody has a computer in their car.
Yes.
If you're a police officer out there and you don't have computer access,
you're hard charging it.
You are so gangster.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're doing it because
I lost mine for like 30 minutes one night, and I was like, well,
right?
What do we do now?
Yeah. Which is something your second phase FTO should do. He goes, shut your MDC, which is the name of the computer in your car, and says, okay, your MDC went down. Now what do you do?
And common sense should tell you what to do.
Yeah, you should get that notepad out is what you should be doing. When you get dispatched to a call.
Dispatch, what's that address again?
Yep.
All right. You got
Pull
a phone?
over. Yep. And please don't be trying to drive and write down the information.
Pull over.
Yes. So, for my non-cops out there, what I'm talking about is when you're a rookie and you're in the second phase, now you should be listening for your call sign. Every officer has a call sign. So when you get out there and you hear your call sign over the radio, you know, hey, I got to listen because this next call is for me. So they get the call.
Tell them what happens if you don't answer your radio.
Oh, that's the best. Okay.
Oh, God.
So that is really part of the test. Your FTO should be reaching out to dispatch and sending them messages on the down low like, hey, test my rookie out. I want to see if he's listening to the radio.
And it's happened.
Listening for his call sign. So let's just say you're George 515, whatever it is. George 515. Crickets. They don't hear nothing. Dispatch to George 515. More crickets. Nothing.
Dispatch to officer.
Yeah, dispatch to officer Snuffy. George 15. Nothing. And it happens with all the new rookies. I love it because it's my favorite.
Close it.
Close the channel. So when they close the channel, guys, nobody can talk. It's an emergency status. Now officers in the area have to go find you because you're not answering your radio. It's kind of a safety measure. And then all inevitably
shut down
that
because
that FTO ain't going to say a damn thing because he's inside. He's smiling. And all of a sudden,
when are they getting here?
4 or 5 patrol cars hopefully are running lights and sirens to your location. And
because you were trying to get Mrs. Snuffy's name.
And you as the rookie who is so wrapped up in his call, not listening to the radio, wonders what the hell is going on because you got lights and sirens coming all around you. And you realize it all at once. Like you're like, what are they doing? And then you just see oh, God. I'm okay. Is that for me? Was that for me? And they're trying to reach the radio.
This is George 15. I'm okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And the rookie gives you that look of shame.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, your FTO gives you that look of shame.
Then you got to do the walk of shame because they're not just going to leave because they just ran lights and sirens to you, and then they're probably talking smack to you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you're an officer that shows up to a rookie that didn't answer his radio, there's a whole slew of different reactions. My favorite's always been the very senior officer, the one that's like maybe almost a career patrolman that everybody respects, you know.
Yeah.
And he looks at you and just goes, start answering your fucking radio. And you're like, holy shit, like I pissed off the wrong one. And he goes back to his car and you know he's just laughing his ass off because he's
and then just drives off.
It just drives off, peels off. That's the best.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these are the things that us as police were starting to look for with the second phase. We want them listening to the radio. We want to make sure they know how to start answering calls. They know how to work the MDC enough to where they can answer dispatch. They can
send messages if they need to.
Send messages. They can show that they took the call, show that they're on scene, show that they're done with the call, and how to start doing their dispositions and stuff like that.
Little messages at the end as to what you did.
Yeah,
is what he means.
Yeah. So when I say disposition, if I talk about this again later, basically, if you didn't do a report, you're still going to leave a message on the MDC about what you did do.
To take care of it.
Yeah. So it doesn't just look like, well, I showed up and then I left. No, you did something. Well, I showed up, I knocked on the door, nobody answered. I went to the back door and I knocked, nobody answered. I tried to peek through some windows. I couldn't see anybody there. It appeared that the house was vacant, so I left the location. Everything seemed secure. So that's something that you would do if it was like, I can't get a hold of Fred. Can somebody go check on Fred for me? And the police are like, well, it's not really a thing. He's an adult, but yeah, we'll go check for you. So, and there's no report done. So then we also, in phase 2, we check the rookie book from phase 1. Yeah. What were the things he needed to work on? And we start pushing him on that stuff. Yeah. So perhaps they weren't filling out their administrative stuff very well as far as doing reports.
I don't know. If you guys remember me saying back of the book type stuff earlier on, that's what I'm referring to. I can't even think of the program that it is because it's all done because we're high tech now.
What are you talking about?
The back of the rookie book stuff where you, I can't think of the program, but it's all on the computer. Everything that you've done that you're supposed to do.
Oh yeah.
Different. Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
I can't think of it.
Yeah. So, all right. So phase 2. Now you're shagging calls. Things are getting a little bit tougher. You should be handling some pretty serious calls, being a part of them anyway.
Right on.
I'm not saying that you're going out there and you're getting a stabbing, which, if you're not aware, these assault calls, like aggravated assault, things where a weapon's involved and people are seriously hurt, things like that. There's a ton of witnesses. There's a ton of suspects and victims all at the same time. Yeah. Those are complicated calls. Now, rookies should be a part of that. Phase 2 should be a part of that, but they're not necessarily taking the call yet. They're not. That's not their call. If you hear me say take the sheet, that means you're responsible. You're the commander-in-chief on that call. So if I get a burglary of a vehicle and I say, hey, I'll take the sheet on that call, that means that I'm the one that's responsible for getting all the information and doing the report.
Talking to the victim.
If Zentino says, hey, I'll back up Levine on that BMV, he's my backup now. So when he gets there, he'll look to me and say, what do you need me to do? Hey, bro, I need you to go get that guy's information. Okay? He's the victim. I need you to just go get a telephone number and find out his name and address for me. I got the other stuff. I got the VIN number and everything on this car or whatever it is. So he goes, he gets it, and then he gives it to me. And it's my job to input all that stuff. If he didn't get the right stuff or whatever, if he screwed up, it's not his fault because it was my job to check him and make sure he got what I needed.
Which usually everybody's pretty good about.
Yes. Oh, yeah. There's some super 63s out there.
Yeah.
That's one of the codes, at least here where we're at, a 63 is your backup.
Backup, yeah.
Well, we'll just say, for the sake of argument, all over the nation, a 63 from now on this show is going to be backup. So we have some super 63s out there that they never want to take a call, but they'll back your ass up any chance they can.
Professional.
Yeah. So yeah. So then, let's say you progress. Let's say everything's good. There's no major issues, no major safety deficiencies, which is what they're looking for. Safety is usually the biggest thing.
Yeah.
As long as you're not a safety issue
checking your awareness,
your
situational awareness.
Yeah. So where you're don't be clueless. We're moving on to phase 3. Phase 3 is, in my opinion, the hardest phase.
Yeah.
Because you don't know your shit fully yet. You don't. So now you're getting into any of those, a cutting, a shooting.
And they're most likely going to make you take the sheet.
Yeah. A sexual assault, sexual assault of a child. all the crazy calls that you can think of, a major accident where there's multi fatalities. That stuff is a nightmare administratively as a police officer. So it's hard. It's hard even as a seasoned veteran. It's hard.
Yeah.
You got a lot of information, and the really hard part is organizing all the people there that are there to help you.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to organize that because your head's going 100 miles an hour, and you're like, all right, I need to
contact this person.
Yeah.
I need to contact this person. I need to contact. Okay,
yeah.
let's start off with Sarge. Hey, can I get a Sarge at the yeah.
Who do I have doing what?
Yeah.
Who's doing what?
Yeah.
So the beauty of having the MDCs and the body cameras these days is if you forget, you can always double check your stuff.
Start crime scene.
Yeah.
Start homicide. Start.
Yeah.
Start TIU?
Traffic.
Yeah.
TIU is a traffic investigation unit. So phase 3, man, you're really being put to the fire. You should be handling all the calls that's in your beat. You should be able, if you have to stack reports, and what I mean by stack reports is you're on a report call. You're out there. You're taking care of a call for a burglary of a vehicle, and then you've got what's another one?
A simple theft call.
A theft call from Walmart that's in your beat. If you hear somebody call out that they're going to go take that call that's in your beat, you better be on the radio saying, you go ahead and get it started. I'll be there in a second to get that from you, because now you've got 2 reports to do.
Another example of that is they kind of frown upon it now, where you're on one theft call,
stacking reports.
Hey, put this theft call in my Robert unit.
Oh yeah.
That's your basically your badge number.
Your off-duty
unit. Yeah. Hey, put this stuff on my badge and send me en route to that accident.
Yeah.
Then now you start stacking these calls. Yeah.
So I'll elaborate on that a little bit more, because I know not everybody understands that. So when you sign in, when you're on duty, you have your on-duty call sign. So I used George 515 earlier.
Yep.
So if you're George 515 on duty, when you're off duty, let's say, I'm driving down the road, all of a sudden I see some robbery in action, I'll get on the radio or I'll call from my cell phone, hey, this is Robert 515. They're going to know, the dispatcher's going to know that I'm off duty. And I'm going to say, hey, this is Robert 515. I see this robbery going down over here. I'm following the suspect vehicle. Right. So now you're going to be logged in under your Robert unit for the city. And so when you stack calls, you can only take one under your call sign.
Yeah.
So they're giving you 2 call signs.
It's not multiple tabs.
Yeah.
It's just the one call for your call sign. Yeah.
So now your call sign and your off-duty call sign have calls attached to them.
Yep.
So it's just it's a workaround that benefits the cities that they're for, because you're handling calls and people aren't waiting for police.
Yeah.
So it's officers trying to be more efficient, but at the same time, you can get overwhelmed and lose track of stuff if you're not used to doing the job.
Yeah, and multitasking, and then you start leaving information out. I think that's why it's kind of frowned upon now.
Yeah, so I think the more seasoned you get, the more leniency you have at doing that stuff. But the moment you start screwing up and missing things,
they're going to tell you to stop.
They're going to tell you, hey, knock that shit off. You're not supposed to do it anyway. So, phase 3, that's a rough one. So then after that, now we're into ghost phase. Now we're into the team that you're working with. That means everybody else that's on patrol on your side of town is treating you just like you're somebody else on the team.
You've been on for 10 years.
Yep. And you're doing your regular stuff. We're not making you, nobody's making you go to any calls.
Nope.
Nobody's treating you like you have to go to this call. You got to go to that call. Basically, you're assigned a beat and an area of responsibility. And if a call comes up there, you're helping or you're doing it. It's yours. However, if you don't have any calls in your area, now the FTO that's in ghost phase is watching to see what you do.
Yeah.
Are you just sitting there? There's other officers taking calls and you're not chiming up to help? Mm-hmm. Or are you chiming up to help?
Yeah.
Now they're really judging how you're going to be out there.
Yeah.
So
because they have to work with you.
Yes.
So
and that's the thing I want everybody to keep in mind when it comes to the academy teaching. When they're teaching you, they're thinking, hey, this guy is going to be out there with my friends, and their safety depends on this product I just put out.
Which you'll learn becomes family.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when we refer to our brothers and sisters and stuff like that, that's what we mean.
Yep.
So it doesn't stop. Your FTO.
You spend so much time together.
Yeah, your FTO's thinking the same thing. Your FTO's sitting there is like, this guy's got to work with me. I got to trust him to maybe pull me out of a fire one day or get my back during a gunfight or anything like that. Yeah. And even worse than that, the FTO's got to think, I got to trust this guy to be able to protect himself.
Yes.
Can he do that? Or girl.
So that I go home and he goes home and we all.
Yeah. Everybody goes home safe. So third phase is critical. Yep. That's a big one. Ghost phase is critical in my opinion. It's really got to be taken serious. You're not getting any help from that FTO. You're not getting help from anybody. And I shouldn't say you're not getting help from anybody. Your
63s are going to help you.
Yeah. So basically, the FTO's checking to see that I'm even confident enough to ask for help when I need it. It shouldn't be a problem. Matter of fact, I'm very happy when a rookie's constantly like checking, like, hey, this is my plan. This is what I want to do. That's good, right? And I'm checking with the 63, with the person that's backing me up.
Yeah, he's actually been there for a minute.
Yeah, and him saying, that's what I would do. That sounds like a good. Or they may give you a suggestion.
Communication, man.
Yeah,
and they will. You'll get taken to the side. They'll be like, "So what took you so long to call for help? What was going through your head?"
Yep.
Yeah, but this is, mind you, this is at the end of the shift. This isn't like because they're a ghost.
Yeah,
they're not supposed to be there. So
yes. So you get your evals at the end of each of these phases. What needs work? Where do you excel? A good FTO is going to tell you what you're doing really well. And I want to put this out there for anybody, officers or anybody training anybody. It doesn't even have to be police work. All too often we focused on the negative stuff.
Yeah.
You got to let people know what they're doing well. I like to call it
that leading from the front.
Yeah. What's that?
Leading from the front?
No. Praise, critique, praise. Okay? So I want you to think of it that way. So first thing I want to do when I'm evaluating you. Hey,
I totally get where you're going with it.
You did some things really well. Okay? First, this is one of the things I think you excelled at. You did you really know where you're going, which is critical. Okay? Now, don't get a big head, because there's some things that you did
that you need to work on.
You got to work on.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm being nice right now because this is stuff I haven't had to tell you before.
Right.
I need you to work on them now. With that said, you did that stuff earlier really well, but you also did this really well towards the end of the shift. You recognized, I think, on some of these things that we're addressing now, but you kind of fixed them at the end. Right. So that's that praise, critique, praise. Yeah. I want to end on a good note with them. So it goes into the psyche. If you get your ass beat every day verbally by your peers, by people that you're looking up to that you trust to teach you the job,
man, they start to second guess whether or not you want to be a.
And if you're out there second guessing and hesitating, you're a less safe officer.
Yeah.
And for citizens, if you want to understand how that applies to you, a non-confident officer or a hesitant officer is more likely to get into trouble than an officer that's supremely confident and carries that presentation of a good officer out there. Fake it till you make it type thing. Yeah. Even if they don't know, if they're out there with a good attitude and understanding of how to fix things, right, they do really well. So
just be honest about it.
Yeah.
Right? You're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out together. So
yeah. So in a nutshell, that's the FTO training portion. Now, we've got expectations and we got reality. let's name some of the problems with field training, okay? So one of the top things that I like to think of, who's the guy training and why are they training? Okay? So if you want to know some of the things that screw up a rookie, it's an FTO. It can be an FTO. If your FTO is a salty, hates working, hates doing police work, doesn't like the city he works for, doesn't like the chain of command he works for,
that'll definitely ruin a rookie.
That's going to ruin a rookie. That's his first impression of being out there for the first time. It's not the academy. This is real life. Yeah. And if he gets there, man, the city's going to fuck you. Everybody's going to turn their back on you. The citizens don't support you. These guys here that you work with will turn on you in a second. Don't trust them.
In the same breath, though, you as a rookie got to know how to, tune that out.
Yes.
I mean,
it's hard.
Yeah.
So a crappy attitude of an FTO or a lazy attitude of an FTO. So they get there, and that sets the tone for these new officers. And if that's your first impression, first impressions are hard to overcome.
Yeah. You could treat it as a positive. You'd be like, I'm not going to be like that when I get out.
Right.
Or on my own. So
you look at that, and then you gotta start talking about what's the motivation.
Yeah.
What's the motivation for an FTO to be an FTO? Why should I want to train new people? It's hard enough being a cop by myself. An FTO is responsible for their rookie. The actions that they do out there, they are responsible for their actions. Yeah. For the most part. I mean, unless it's just gross negligence and there's nothing you could do.
Right.
If your rookie just starts desk popping all over the place out of nowhere.
Everybody's done a desk pop.
When'd you do your desk pop? 76.
September.
Yep. So what's their motivation? For some, it's pay. Some places, FTOs get a stipend. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is for us. I don't know what it is other places. I just know they get paid a little bit more to be an FTO. And they typically tend to do overtime. They get stuck. They have to work longer hours. So is their motivation to teach simply money? If it's simply money, they don't really have to put any work into it.
Yeah.
So
because they can get that money somewhere else.
That could be a problem. I want people that want to train to be trainers.
You have a trainer's heart. You got to want to show somebody how to do something.
It's no different than how I talked about SWAT.
Yeah.
I love SWAT. I would love to do SWAT personally, but I'm not about that life. Yeah. I can't put the hours in, nor do I want to put the hours in that require to do it. Now, I want to do the fun stuff that they do.
Yeah.
I want to go save a hostage from a house. That would be great. Yeah.
So ultimately, your heart has to be in it.
Yeah.
110%.
But my heart is not in it where SWAT's at. And all the guys that work for SWAT for us, them dudes they're about it, you know.
Beast.
Yeah, I love them. So I'm glad that those guys are that way. Yep. And we have a good hiring process to make sure we pick those guys. But when it comes to being an FTO, nobody wants to do it.
You ever walked up on them? They're like 10 feet tall.
Oh,
They look like they're made of steel.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Well, you can't walk up on them. They know.
They see you walking up on them.
Yeah. Most of the time, if you do walk up on one, there's 3 more dropping behind you from the rafters you didn't see. They were a setup. Yeah. So SWAT's just that good.
Yeah.
So, and that's not just our SWAT. It's all SWATs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that. All our SWAT people out there throughout the nation, they're badasses. So,
man amongst boys.
Yeah. If you're out there rocking that SWAT rocker.
Yeah.
Over top of your patch, I got mad respect for you. So that motivation for our SWAT doesn't translate the same as it does for the FTOs. So FTO may be mandated. Not necessarily where we're at, but that happens. I know it happens at other departments where your sergeant basically looks at them and is like, hey, Zentina, you ain't trained anybody in a while. I want you to train the new rookie coming out. Yeah. How good a training are you going to get when you've been voluntold to train somebody that you had no intentions of training?
Exactly.
So
I'm gonna show you how to do it the right way once, and you
yes.
do however you want to after. Yeah, you get that kind of training. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get out of this for other people to understand that don't do this job is that the standardization for FTO training, there is a standardization for expectations from the rookie, but I don't think those same standards apply when it comes to who's training the rookies while they're out there. Maybe there is at certain departments. I haven't seen that yet. I know we at our department have a FTO training school. You have to go through training to do it.
And they don't just randomly pick people from just my experience and the friends that I have as FTOs. You've actually had to do some really good work in order to get hand selected the way you do. So,
right. And the problem that I think some departments have is you got a midnight shift and it's all rookies. And when I say rookies, I mean 5 years or less. Yeah. It's all rookies. So what level of training are you going to get from an FTO if you got to pick from a 5 year or less guy?
Right.
It's not that you can't get good training from a 5 year or less guy. You could get great training from a 1 year guy. Yeah. It depends on the work they put in while they did it.
Yeah.
There's a couple on the side of town I work. I'll give a last name shout out, Dunn. We got some Dunns on our department, but Dunn, this kid, he ain't been out of the department that long.
He's good.
But the dude puts in the work. Like what he did probably his first year, maybe let's say his first 2 years, some officers haven't done in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's all about the quality of work you put into it.
I think we mentioned that on an earlier podcast. You can either work your butt off, or
it's just like going for your belts in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, a guy that's going to the gym 6 days a week, rolling. Some guys go twice a week, 6 days a week, because they ain't got kids, responsibility, whatever. That dude is going to be a beast. He's going to be a purple belt in 4 years, where a guy like me, I've been rolling since 2006. I'm still a purple belt. Like, I should be a black belt. I should, but I ain't because, life. Yeah. It's just what it is, but life's a marathon. I'm in no rush. I'll get it one day. I just keep training, keep doing stuff. But that is the problem I'm seeing with FTOs, is that there needs to be more of a standardization, and I don't have an answer for it. I don't know how to make it better. I don't know how to pick somebody and say, like, hey, do you want to be an FTO? Yeah, I want to be an FTO. Okay, cool. Like, now why do they want to do it? I can't question that. Like, well, what do you want to do it for? Well, I want the pay.
We start doing that, people are just going to cower away and be like, oh, maybe I don't want to do it.
Yeah. And in today's climate, I can see. Yeah. I don't necessarily say for where we're at because, like I said, we have a very supportive city.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But some of these cities where they're not supporting their police, they're very defund the police, don't support them. Shoot. It's going to be hard enough working by myself. Now you want me to be responsible for another person?
Somebody else,
No.
Yeah.
I don't blame those guys. Yeah. I don't blame them. So I would really like for anybody listening that's not a cop, I want to mention this. If you guys have any questions, I definitely plan on doing a Q&A episode where we just go through all the questions that people have, address them, expand upon it, and just keep going.
Maybe name shout outs.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, please leave it primarily in the YouTube or the Facebook page we have.
Right.
Those two would be the best.
Easiest.
It's the easiest. Yeah. The YouTube one, especially because I could refer to the episode that you got a question on, or on the Facebook page, because then you could just address any question, regardless of the episode.
Right on.
So, other problems. Rookies training rookies.
Yeah.
That's a common theme.
Blind leading the blind.
Yeah. So, like I said, it depends on the time you've put into it. So just because you've been on the department 2 years doesn't necessarily make you a bad trainer.
Yeah.
The odds are against it, though. So what else is another problem that you see?
It's funny you say rookies training rookies. I had 3 different guys getting told to road with me, and I'm like, I haven't even been here a year. Is it because I'm old? Is that why you want them riding with me?
Right.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
yeah,
let's make it happen.
So I think what you're talking about, one has to do with what level are we at as far as what phase 1, 2, 3, ghost phase. That will make a difference because somebody your age with the life experience, you're not going to get worked up. Your safety's on point.
Right
Maybe
on.
that's what they're looking at. Like, I just need you to make sure this rookie's being safe.
Right on.
I need you to make sure he knows the law. So that second phase, maybe that first phase, is better for rookies to be trained at rookies.
Right on.
Versus third phase when they're really getting those crazy calls and stuff like that.
Calls, running to.
Yeah. So that's why I'm not against it. I don't want to come out and sound like I'm like, oh, rookies training rookies, I'm not.
At all.
I don't care. I care about your ability. And just because you're a rookie doesn't mean you're not capable. It's just the odds and the statistics are not in your favor. We'll say that. Firing. Here's another problem. Let's say the rookies aren't passing their phases. So you got your rookie. He went through, let's say he went through the average, we'll say a 4 to 6 month academy. He had a background check done. He had all this medical done. The staff that's involved, the pay that's involved. We're talking, I'm going to say conservatively, $100,000 has been wrapped around
one
individual to get to the point where they're out in the field and they're training for that, we'll say 3 months. We'll say a 3-month field training phase. So for 3 months, they're being trained. The city's paying a little extra to that guy that's training them. He doesn't pass phase 1. Redo it.
It's happened.
Okay. So now this guy doesn't pass. There's the possibility of a little bias being passed on from FTO to FTO. Like, this kid's a moron, here's all the problems I had. Maybe the FTO, that first FTO and that rookie they just don't mesh.
Yeah.
But now the pool's been tampered with a little bit because that FTO is going to his next FTO. And he's like, this kid's garbage. He's not going to pass. So now that new FTO, is he going to be objective enough to say, nope, me, fresh page, fresh start?
Let me paint my own picture.
Is he going to say, no, I trust Zentino. He's a vet. He knows what the fuck he's doing. If he says this kid's garbage, fuck him. I'm going to go in
Which
here.
it shouldn't be that way.
Shouldn't be that way.
At all.
But all of us have been there. We've been wrapped up. We've trusted the person, whatever it is.
I've had buddies that fallen into that spiral, and then by God's grace, they managed to get out of it, and they're some of the best officers out there. So it's just, man. So
now we got to consider the cash that's been put into them. Now, do I agree with that personally? No. I say if you're not able to do the job, or the checks and balances we have in place show and can, for all intents and purposes, prove that you can't do this job or shouldn't do it yet, too bad, so sad. You got to go.
And it's not like, boom, they cut you off. They give you multiple chances.
How many chances should they give you?
That should be the question. Because I just from classmates and just people that I'm.
So here's where I'm going to throw in the what do you do? So we talked about FTOs, their motivation for being FTOs, right?
Right.
And then you got city, the money that they're putting into it, HR, liability, city legal, all that stuff. So now we're balancing, and you got the FTO that doesn't give a shit. He's there for the money.
Right.
And he doesn't want the headache of writing everything up that's wrong with this rookie. And he's like, that's a second try. Yeah, good enough. He did good enough for me. I'm going to sign him off.
Yeah.
And city legal's over here like, oh, thank God, because we're not firing him. We've got too much money wrapped up. You need to train him.
Right.
That's your job, is to get him to that point.
Up, yeah.
So you've got that balance. Now let's say we've got the trainer that's like, no, he got to go.
Yeah.
Passes him on to another trainer that's like, no, he got to go.
Yeah.
And now what do you do? Because now you still got all this over here. Like, no, we've got 120 grand into this guy.
I think that's where that whole multiple chances comes into play.
Now they're
like,
now I know like what some departments do is they take that rookie and they're like, all right, we're going to switch sides of town. I want to take him to a fresh place that nobody knows who he is. They're going to know something's up because folks, when rookies go out and train, all the rookies go out and train at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you're getting a rookie that all the other ones are already kind of signed off on and done, they're going to know, okay, this guy was a problem somewhere.
Yeah.
But they put him on another side of town, fresh start. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because there is a chance that the jury was, a
little bit
tainted
more harsh
on one side. So, okay, get him to another side. But these are the problems that we got to deal with out there. And this is stuff that the public may not understand when they see two officers on a call.
Yeah.
And you're like, this guy is Gomer Pyle. What is going on?
Yeah.
Why is he screwing up so bad? Well, look, we're training.
Yeah.
Got to learn. And you may have a trainer out there, an FTO, that doesn't give a shit.
So this makes me think of a question. It's like, you and I, at this point, here back to discretion.
Okay.
You have a warrant for traffic tickets.
Right.
Hey, man, just take care of your tickets, bud. Hey, take care of your warrant. Hey, man, have a good day. But you got a rookie on scene.
Yeah.
They're going to jail.
Right.
Like,
yes. That's a good point.
It's just like,
yeah. Okay.
My heart breaks for those guys, man.
Yeah. Okay. So, folks, if you got a traffic ticket that, I get it, Rona, whatever, you let the ticket get away from you, procrastinated, and you didn't get it taken care of, and all of a sudden it goes to warrant because you went 5 over and some asshole cop that had nothing else to do decided he's going to write you that ticket for $5.
Man.
And now you got a warrant.
Yeah.
When these rookies are training, their job is to go to jail as often as possible because they got to know how
booking process
to learn this stuff. So if you're that guy that's out there and you got caught for a stupid traffic warrant, because we're with you. I don't want to take you to jail over some traffic warrant. I promise you.
Goodness.
And now you're getting put in cuffs and you're like, this is some chicken shit stuff.
It is.
It is.
We don't disagree.
I'm telling you.
God.
Now, I'm going to go down a little rabbit trail. Something in my experience with police work, all cops signed up for a little part of them. It could be a major part, a little part of them. They wanted to catch robbers. They want to catch murderers. They want to catch rapists, thieves, arsonists. Okay. All the major food groups, right?
Yeah.
They signed up because they want to do that stuff. They want to help.
Yeah.
Now you get guys like us that work for a major city. We get to do that on the regular all day long. Catch these people, these types of people. However, you've got small cities. They've got 300 people, 1,000 people, 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Let's even say 50,000 people. That's a small city to me. That stuff doesn't happen every day.
No.
That doesn't happen every month. It doesn't happen every year. Some never get homicides, period.
Which is a good thing.
So you got this highly motivated guy that signed up to be a cop. He wants to do all this stuff. He can't because it's not happening where he's at. So now what does he got to do? I got to do something. Yeah. I'm going to do traffic stops. Yeah. So now he's pulling people over. And you're like, of all the things, I'm doing 10 over and this is all you got to do is pull me over. Well, yeah, it is all he has to do. So you got this guy that's motivated and he just wants to be a cop. He wants to do police work. Well, that's the only type of police work he has to do. So
give the guy a break.
Give him a break. I get it.
I
understand. And this is just a theory of mine. It doesn't mean it's right, but that could be one possibility of why they go so
hard in the paint
on something so minor.
Yeah.
And I'm not. If you're that cop that's out there, listen. You do you. You're within the law.
Mm-hmm.
It's a law for a reason.
Yep.
I'm just saying. Where I'm at,
mm-hmm.
I've got the luxury and the privilege of being able to go after bigger fish, bigger stuff,
mm-hmm.
Because it happens so often where we're at. So I'll back out of that rabbit hole now. I want to put that out there
and get back to rookies taking people to jail off of a
So that
Class C warrant.
Yes. So if you're at a place like us where you got rookies taking you to jail off your traffic tickets, that's part of the reason why they got to train too, guys.
Yeah.
So
I've had to do it as a rookie, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm so sorry.
The best defense I know.
I'm so sorry, but you're gonna have to turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Yeah. Listen, it's as much your fault as it is mine right now. I'll take part of the blame.
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah. I'll take part of the blame because it's. But in all fairness, you had every opportunity
to take care of it. Yes.
So,
I have been on those traffic stops. I'm like, man, this paper plate's like 4 years old. Now you just don't care.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, I could forgive 3 years.
Yeah, but not 4.
Not 4. It's a little too much.
Yeah.
So fixes for that. I don't like bitching about problems without having solutions.
Right.
Any future leaders out there, I'm not going to say that I'm a prime example of a leader, but part of my leadership qualities, core principles is if you're going to complain about a problem, you damn well better have a solution. Yeah. Doesn't mean it's going to be a good solution, but have something in the works.
Have something in the plans.
Yeah. So for me, standardization. I like to avoid standardization for police work nationwide. I have certain things that I think should be a standard and certain things I don't think should be a standard.
And because every place is different.
Right.
Like every community is different.
Yes.
Yeah,
so you got cultural differences, things like that. Some of the things I think that should be standardized. Yeah, that's the word. Use of force.
Yeah.
Use of force should be standardized. I mean, if I have the authority to hit this guy here, I should be the same over here.
Yeah.
I think if I can hit him here, but I can't hit him here, that only screws both people up when it comes to court cases later on. Because it could, and state to state, like in Texas, if I can, open hand slap this guy, but in California, I can't slap the guy for the same exact scenario when it decides to go to a Supreme Court case.
Lawyers are going to eat that up.
Yeah, it just causes all this issue. So in use of force, a standardization should apply. I think that would benefit us as police to have just this nationwide, like, all right, look, all over the country, like, you can do it here, you can't do it here.
Yeah.
FTO, there's got to be, I'm not saying standardization nationwide, but within the department, or maybe even within the state, because you may train and you hit everything in this rookie book, but you train different than me.
Yeah.
You may go out there and say, all right, I'm not handling any calls. I'm going to let this kid take what's in our beat, but I'm not getting him into anything interesting. I'm not doing it because I don't want to do the work.
Right.
So how does that fare against the go-getter FTO, the one that wants to be an FTO? There's got to be some sort of standardization for that, and there's got to be some sort of standardization for who can do the job. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a counter to that. And I'm sure...
I don't have one.
I'm sure it's going to be hard to put a standardization. Yeah. That's the other thing. Now, yes, I just said that you should have solutions. I'm giving you a partial solution. I don't have all the answers. I don't know how to standardize picking an FTO, making sure you get the right ones. I don't know that part. But in my opinion, it needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
It needs to be something. So, what do you think?
And the only opinion I have on that is just from talking to classmates now that I don't even know how they picked other than I'm pretty sure because the guys they do pick are the go-getters.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I could be totally wrong. Whoever's listening, maybe that's that's the only way they pick him.
Yeah.
Pick the FTOs. It's like, okay, this guy, he's a hard worker. He has X amount of reports. He's been on X amount of calls. He could be a good, but that's not always the case.
Right.
He could be a hard worker. It's just like, I'll compare it to playing football. I was a good football player, but I can't coach.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
Yeah.
So those are the problems I see. We got all this, we got the expectations, you know, they go through their FTO phase. By the time they get done, they should be a self-sufficient officer and be able to ride by themselves and handle calls in their area.
Mm-hmm.
That's the expectation. And then they grow from there.
Yeah.
We have problems. Motivations for being an FTO. Rookies. Not being coachable, stuff like that. That's another problem that we didn't address.
Rookies thinking they know everything.
Yeah. And
that's the thing.
Cultural differences as far as, I should say more generational differences. Rookies today like to question why everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Why? Me growing up and it like, if you ask why, because I fucking said so. Like
that was us growing up.
Yeah, and you stopped asking why.
Yeah. Which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get him wrong. Don't get us wrong. There's nothing wrong with asking why.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I even do it sometimes. Okay, well, why?
And that's what I'm not saying that it's wrong or right. I'm just saying that there's a big difference in with the younger generation compared to some of the, closer to the 80s and 70s, 80s, early 90s crowd.
Or they took order and they ran with it.
Yeah. I don't want to say I'm different. I grew, born in 83. I'm not saying I did grow up in that generation, but I've always had a respect for not just telling somebody to do something to tell them to do something. I want them to understand why they're doing it. So I get the value in that. However, there's points that you need to you should be able to have the social skills to realize, like, I'll save that question for later.
Right.
I know I need to do what he's telling me to do, but I'll save the question for later.
I'll ask him after the shift is over with. Like,
right.
Write down your questions, and then we'll answer
then that
them.
all goes into being a good instructor.
Yeah.
Like, FTOs are going to learn over time. Like, I need to tell my rookies to, like, any questions you have, write them down, unless it's an immediate safety issue.
Right.
Write them down, and we'll address them afterwards. Just make sure you have context to what you're asking me. Like, how come I had to shut my door quietly? Okay, I know why I would tell you to shut your door quietly, but what situation are you referring to?
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah, we handled this domestic call over here, and we could hear him arguing from the road, and you told me to shut my door quiet. I don't understand why you wanted me to shut my door quiet.
Because I didn't want them to hear us.
Yeah.
Dummy.
Yeah.
At least that's what I would have been told.
Why do you always call people dummies? I don't
know,
understand.
Right?
Did you have an influence?
Yeah.
Somebody calling people dummies?
I don't know.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, I have a habit of I call people dummies when I'm not calling them stupid or it's not.
And see, that's me. Like
I'm not trying to be mean.
We grew up,
I'm not trying to be mean.
With my cousins, we called each other stupid all the time, and I would never call anybody stupid.
Right.
But to us, that's normal.
But when I'm training somebody personally, in my opinion, if I'm training you, that's because you don't know and I do. Or I at least know how to find the answers out that you don't have yet.
And there is the difference with the questions of why and then just the rookie that just acts like he knows everything.
Yeah. So when you say something that I consider at least in this profession, I consider cute or very ignorant. Ignorant to me is a lack of information, not that you're dumb or anything like that. So you lack the knowledge. I will refer to you as a dummy. No, dummy. And until you get to the point where you need to be, then you're not a dummy anymore.
Yeah.
So I still call you dummy. So
But it's because I'm cute.
That's true. And most of the stuff you say is cute.
It's cute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different. It's like my wife.
Yeah.
You know, she says something.
I take it as a term of endearment.
It is.
So.
Yeah, it is.
I told there's a little story, real quick story. We pulled over. It was just too quiet in that car.
Okay.
And I said, hey, man.
Wait. Patrol car or with your wife?
No, patrol car.
Oh, okay.
She's patrol car. And I was like, look, dude, you can cuss me up one side, down the other. It's not going to bother me.
Yeah.
If you need to jump in and do something, do it. I was like, that's just how I was raised.
Yeah.
Oh, no, man, I wouldn't. It's the most I had him talking. And you already know I love to talk. No, I would never do that. I was like, why is that, man? Because you respect your elders? Oh, no, man, shut up. I don't. Yeah. So.
You set him up, bro. Yeah. You set him up.
As his first phase rookie, I set him up. But
after
that, it was like two old heads just rolling around everywhere. So
I'm not a yeller. Like I've tried to fake it before, like act like I'm mad at a situation that I knew required seriousness. I don't have it in me. I'm not a yeller. Like
I hate being that guy.
Yeah, I'm not. Like it's very hard for me to hold. Like I don't hold a grudge, like the anger part, where some people. Even on safety issues, like, I'm serious about what I'm trying to tell you, but I don't have that, like, you dumb motherfucker, or any of that.
I'm the guy that gets in real close and, hey, don't do that again.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Yeah. I like that style.
Yeah.
I'm more of
because I've done it.
I'm more of the, hey, dude, come here. Listen. You know, all seriousness, like, that shit you just did, like, you fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's how I am. Even when I'm dealing with a bad guy, you'll see me on my body cam videos. I'm like, you know, we're doing other than like maybe a felony stop.
Right.
And for those that don't know, on a felony stop, you're yelling commands like, you know, show me your hands, you know. And even then, I'm not. I don't sound like a big bully or anything. I'm just like
projecting your voice.
I'm just projecting my voice. But even with bad guys, like I'm fighting. I'm literally in a fight with you. I'm like, dude, put your hand. Like I'm talking to them. There's no like
we are not going to do this.
Yeah. I'm like, really? I have a bad habit of going, really, really. Like every time they do something, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I got to get out of that. They're like trying to grab your nuts or do something mean, gouge your eye. I'm like, really? Grab their hand. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So with that, I think we're wrapping up on the FTO phase. What happens after you get done? You get through your ghost phase. Everything's signed off. You're good to go.
Now you're on. Hand you the key to the city.
Yeah, you get the key to the city, aka your own patrol car, which is very nice. You get into the probation phase. So every place is different. With the department we currently work at, you're on probation for a year. So, and under that probation period, like they can fire you for whatever they deem necessary. I'm not going to say for any reason at all.
Right.
But it's a tool that I don't disagree with. You got to have that ability to get rid of people that.
Would you say a lot of rookies kind of lay low? They play it smart.
Yeah.
They take their sweet time on everything.
Yep.
Because I'm not even going to lie. I did that.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm going to.
And it's not dumb because it makes you step back and really assess what you're doing. And you're not rushing things. Yeah. So I'm all about that. Take your time. And for any rookies out there, anybody considering being a cop, I hope this doesn't discourage you.
Best job in the world, baby.
But your FTO phase is in a sense maybe even more serious than your academy training.
Yeah.
And I could see the argument. As a person who's trained academy students as well, I think think they're both equally as important. However, the academy has a safety bubble. Nobody's life is in jeopardy necessarily.
You get to call red.
Yeah, you get to call a pause, a timeout. Yeah. Hey, dummy.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Your little fake gun there, you're not supposed to point that at people.
Yeah.
So, but in the real world, you're out there with a real gun. You got real authority. That again, I all officers out there, I don't care if you've been on the job 50 years, you got to recognize, you got to always appreciate the power that you have over people.
Yeah.
Just the uniform alone. As soon as you walk into a room,
people's butthole starts puckering up.
Yeah, that power is there. So don't take it for granted.
Yeah. Just use it wisely, man.
Yep.
It's my partner and I talked about. I mean, you're basically the ruler of your own little beat, and you can't let that go to your head.
Absolutely.
Got to use it the way it's supposed to, and only when you need to.
Yep.
So
discretion's a good tool.
That's right.
If you're that black and white cop that arrests everybody for every warrant, it doesn't matter if they have a warrant, the judge says bring them before me, and you do it, just stay consistent.
Yeah. I'm
not against you. It's not my style, but that's the beauty of police work. We each get to have our own style. So, so probation phase, once that's done, you're cut loose officially. You get to go out and serve the community to your whim and how you feel it should be done.
Would you disagree? 100 miles an hour, and then kind of start to slow down. So that you get cut loose, then you're just you're just coasting.
Yeah. I will say the weirdest moment is once you get done with FTO phase and you're in that probationary period, and you
first call,
not even your first call. You get done with roll call, and you got to decide, what do I do?
What do I do now?
What do I do now? If you don't get so what I mean, folks, you get done with your FTO phases. You graduated. You graduated that.
You were your own woman. You were your own man.
You were on your side of town. You're working with the team that you're supposed to work with.
Your taser may be on backwards, but you're...
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're out there. You're in a patrol car all by yourself. And now you got to decide as you're walking out to your car, what do I do with my hands? You got to decide what to do. And for me, I knew exactly what it was. Traffic. I'm pulling cars over.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm going to do because I knew how to do it. And I knew it would eat up some time.
Yeah.
And I knew it would help me learn how to talk to people. And I didn't have to write tickets.
Yeah.
And even as a rookie, I was never a ticket guy.
Same.
I just wanted to... I wanted to practice that realm because I was comfortable. It was the thing I was most comfortable with.
Yep.
And then other than that, I was driving the perimeter of my beat.
Learning your area.
And learning my area. So it is a weird feeling. You get in that car, and unless you're one of those rookies that immediately gets dispatched to a call, you got to figure out what to do. And you can't just sit in the parking lot.
My very first one out the bat was a shots fired
in
the neighborhood I grew up in. I was like...
Mine, I didn't get any calls at all three departments that I worked for.
Really?
I didn't get any calls my first time in the car when I was finally by myself. So I would go out and I did traffic. And as a matter of fact, where we work, I didn't get a call for the first hour. I was on midnight, so it makes sense. And didn't get a call. And then I got a naked guy call. So that was my first call for our city. So
my uncle. You get my uncle.
No, this dude, God, he was so high. He had just gotten out of prison.
Oh, goodness.
It was great, though, because my team got a chance to see me work.
Right.
They knew I had prior experience, so it was a confidence builder into me for them. And I talked this guy into the back seat of my car.
Sweet.
And he was naked and afraid. He thought the Klan was out to get him.
Yeah.
And thought they were across the street, so I pulled my car up to him, opened the back door. I said, "Hey, man," I was like, "when you're ready, we'll count of 3. You jump in the back, I'll get us the hell out of here."
That's badass.
And he did. He jumped in, slid in because he was sweaty as hell.
Yeah.
And
he really thought somebody was after him.
Yeah, he really thought people were after him. So we got him to the hospital. We mental apped him, and awesome. He got cleaned up, and everything was good to go. So, but hey, man. Episode 3, baby. I think we did pretty good.
Yeah.
I think this is something people might want to know about. I think we're done for training right now.
Yeah.
We went through the academy phases, or academy. We did the FTO stuff, and now we're to the point where an officer is cut loose in the streets.
By
so
himself.
I don't know what we're going to talk about next. We could get into use of force. I would like to do a questions
or suggestions
and suggestions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That would be fun to do next. I won't put anything in stone, because who knows when you're going to show up to do this again.
It was a one-time thing, bro.
Yeah. I don't want to hear.
I said I was sorry.
Yeah, I'm not over it yet. I'm still mad.
Well, you take your time, because I care about your feelings.
Still mad at you. I'm gonna see how these 3 angles work out. Let's hope my phone is still recording.
It didn't. It didn't ping or didn't turn on. I don't know.
I put it on airplane mode.
Oh.
Yeah, I put that one on. I should have put that one on airplane mode as well. So, but yeah, we will close this episode out.
Yeah, bro.
End it with a high five, like usual. And
thanks for listening,
everybody. Thanks for listening. And
until next time.
Later.